She was enjoying a perfect vacation with her husband, but suddenly the cartel brutally killed him. Their arrogance led them to think they were untouchable, unaware of what she would do to each of them that day. Imagine this: Brenner is a woman on a road trip with her husband Dylan. They are trying to enjoy a peaceful getaway, driving through the countryside hoping for a break from their busy lives. Brenner is not just an ordinary woman. She has a strong background. Consider highly trained military-grade durability. And Dylan? He is a police officer. It is good. While they are driving down the road, an old truck suddenly speeds past them. The guy inside shouts something inappropriate to Brenner, saying, "Hey baby, I love you." It is not only unpleasant, it is disrespectful. He speeds ahead, swerving wildly. Dylan and Brenner shake their heads and continue on, trying not to let it affect their mood. They stop at a small roadside diner for a quick break. Brenner sits outside to relax while Dylan goes into the bathroom. But guess who appears again? The same jerk from the truck. His name is Butch. He is just as terrible as you would think. He begins to harass Brenner, causing her significant discomfort. He leans in close, invading her space, saying things that would make anyone uncomfortable. Dylan returns just in time and faces the guy. The tension is high, as if they are ready to fight. Do we have a problem? Before it escalates, an older lady from the restaurant intervenes. She calms them both down, serving as a peacekeeper. She mentions that people in this town are not accustomed to seeing visitors, particularly those who appear genuinely happy together. She tells them to call her mom, like everyone does here. Order anything you like. It's on Butch. Dylan thanks her, but it's obvious they still feel tense. The couple resumes their journey after eating and later stops in the woods to camp. They discover a quiet clearing and choose to prepare for the night. It is calm, only trees and the sounds of nature. All appears well until a female officer arrives. She approaches Brenner and talks with him for a while, being friendly but also creating strange vibes. She tells them that locals here don't like strangers, especially those who choose to stay in the forest. That's unsettling, isn't it? They express their gratitude to her, and she departs. Brenner and Dylan are determined to make the most of their trip, so they decide to go hiking. Dylan asks which way to go at a fork in the trail. Brenner says left, unaware that this choice will alter everything. While they walk, rain begins to pour. They hurry through the forest and find an old, shady cabin. They decide it's better to go inside than to get soaked. It feels cozy, and for a moment, they forget all the strange things and simply enjoy being alone together. Sparks fly, romance begins, and for a moment, they can pretend the world is safe. Brenner begins to explore the place. She explores a back room and finds something frightening, a hidden compartment filled with guns and ammo. She feels danger strongly. She calls for Dylan, and he looks outside. They are both scared and choose to leave quickly. Before they can escape, Butch ambushes them from behind. He knocks them both out with the butt of his rifle. Next, they are tied up in a dirty room. Dylan is hurt, and Butch is enjoying tormenting him. Brenner, unable to help, watches her husband in pain. Amid the chaos, one of Butch's associates pulls him aside and informs him that Dylan is a cop. That causes Butch to stop moving. He is suddenly nervous. He walks back in, acting friendly, and says, "Didn't know you were police, man. I apologize for everything happening." Then he shoots them both. No mercy. Just like that. His team pulls the bodies to a pit in the woods, digs a hole, and throws them in like garbage. But this is where the story changes. Brenner is not dead. The bullets only touched her, sufficient to incapacitate her and cause bleeding, but not lethal. She wakes up later feeling groggy but alive. She checks Dylan first. He did not succeed. She is crushed and heartbroken as she covers his body with branches. Her grief quickly becomes rage. She holds herself responsible for taking the left path. This decision brought them to this point. Her training kicks in. She recalls her true identity: dangerous, intelligent, and concentrated. It's time for payback. She takes an axe and heads into the woods with a clear mission: remove all participants. In town, Butch and his friends are behaving as if they own it. They treat people very poorly, particularly women. Isn't that correct, girl? It is clear now. Women are being kidnapped, terrible things are happening, and no one is willing to stop them. Mom, the woman from the diner, appears to be involved in all this. She directs Butch, telling him to eat quickly because she has more tasks for him. Brenner, in the wilderness, creates a lethal weapon from wood. She ambushes one of Butch's men, takes him out quietly, and hides the body. She is clearly upset by her actions, but there is no turning back. It's her or them. She moves through the forest like a ghost, eliminating another member of Butch's gang. She is quick and harsh. She cuts off a man's foot but spares his life, allowing him to crawl away in fear. She finds Butch's cabin, the location where all the horror began, and blows it up. The explosion is large, illuminating the forest. A new character appears, Sheriff Hobbs. He hears the blast and takes his gun, feeling confused and alarmed. Butch and Mom see the smoke too. Butch becomes anxious, understanding that something is seriously amiss. Mom, the mastermind of this operation, instructs him to go check it out. Butch finds one of his guys barely alive on his way into the woods. He mumbles about Brenner, throws it in the back of the truck, and hurries back to town. But do you know? Brenner is hiding in the back of that same truck, waiting for the next move. At their unsettling base, Butch informs Mom some of their individuals have died. She is angry, hits him, holds him responsible for everything, and insists he tidy up the mess. It seems that Mom is more dangerous than she appears. She has a network of questionable individuals working for her, including tech experts who can find information on anyone. She tells one of them to run a background check on Brenner, not knowing that the woman she attempted to kill is already disrupting their lives. The man looks up at her, bewildered and anxious. At the same time, the woman known as Mom is discovering something that surprises her. This woman, Brenner, is not just a random girl. She was in the military, trained well, and now Mom understands she's made a mistake with the wrong person. Sheriff Hobbs is in the woods when he finds one of Butch's men dead on the ground. He quickly grabs his radio and contacts his team to inform them that he has found a body. In the forest, Brenner is not merely hiding. She is busy making the area a trap zone. She is placing traps and preparing ambushes everywhere, getting ready for anyone who might search for her. Hobbs's team soon arrives at the location where he discovered the body. One of his men leans in and informs the sheriff that the person on the ground was part of Mom's crew. Then he reveals another shocking piece of information. This entire area of forest belongs to Mom. She runs the show here. The people in town call her Mom, not just as a nickname. She owns everything and nothing occurs without her approval. The sheriff, feeling both curious and suspicious, expresses a desire to meet this Mom in person. At Mom's little hideaway, a young woman in the control center informs her that Sheriff Hobbs is on his way to see her. There is a twist. This woman is also working for Mom. She is simply another individual in Mom's pocket, providing her with information. The sheriff arrives with a few of his deputies and sits down with Mom. He mentions the body found in the woods, but Mom stays calm. She does not pretend to be concerned about losing one of her men. She claims that the man took his own life. Hobbs does not believe it at all, but he stays silent. He agrees, goes along with it, and finally departs quietly. That night, Mom and her kids come together to drink and remember the guy they lost. They are intoxicated and unhappy, lying around everywhere. Butch wakes up, still groggy from the booze, and walks into a room where Brenner is waiting for him. She is not present for conversation. She uses a knife to cut his throat, observing as he bleeds out gradually. He gasps and struggles, but he is powerless. She stands there, her eyes cold as he dies. That was for her husband. Morning arrives and Brenner remains concealed in the building. She watches as one of Mom's men pulls a young girl into a locked room. It affects her deeply. This girl is not alone. Many others are in similar situations, feeling trapped, scared, and abused. Brenner understands she cannot simply abandon them. She enters quietly and opens the door, releasing the girls. However, not all of them are prepared to leave. They have experienced a lot and feel scared. One of them screams in panic, alerting a nearby guard. A man enters quickly and begins shooting. A girl gets hit and dies immediately. Brenner, however, does not back down. She eliminates him in a smart and ruthless manner. Brenner leaves the building with a girl named Emily. They walk into the woods together. At the same time, Mom hears that Butch is dead and the girls are missing. The news strikes her hard. She is very angry and sad, particularly concerning her son. She completely loses control, commanding her men to locate Brenner at all costs. She wants all able-bodied men, all dogs, and all resources to be searching. One of her guys finds Brenner, but he can't handle her traps. He ends up dead, just like the others did. Another man arrives and Brenner acts immediately. She shoots him immediately. Brenner and Emily sit by a fire that night. A calm moment is rare. Emily tells Brenner that she is pregnant. She feels fear, not only for herself, but also for the baby. She understands that if Mom discovers her, she may not make it. Brenner places a hand on her shoulder and assures her that everything will be fine. "I've got you," she says. The following morning, Mom sends her main enforcer, a large man with dogs, into the forest to find them. They catch Emily, but Brenner arrives just in time to handle the attackers. Sheriff Hobbs arrives in the area and gets shot in the leg by one of the bad guys. Brenner responds immediately and neutralizes the shooter. She assists the sheriff to safety, and the three of them come together again. Brenner informs the sheriff that they cannot remain in one location. If they do, they will be pursued repeatedly. They leave the hideout and follow a stream, hoping to find help. They encounter the female officer who had warned Brenner and her husband earlier in the story. They get in her car, believing she is an ally. Brenner and Emily, tired, fall asleep in the back seat. When they wake up, the nightmare starts again. They are surrounded by Mom's people. The officer had been working for Mom all along. She betrayed them. Brenner and Emily are taken away. Emily reveals she is pregnant with Butch's child, seeking to protect herself. Mom appears indifferent. She takes Emily to another room and gets Brenner ready for torture. Later, Emily arrives with food, but she's not there to serve lunch. She defeats the guard and releases Brenner. Brenner, filled with anger and determination, enters the main room where Mom's gang is assembled. She fights fiercely, defeating them one by one. Mom grabs Emily and puts a knife to her throat, trying to force Brenner to give up. A man approaches and strikes Brenner from behind. While she is distracted, Mom cuts Emily's throat and leaves. Brenner defeats the attacker, but when she reaches Emily, it is too late. The girl has already left. 3 months later, Mom sits in a peaceful garden trying to move on. She receives a mysterious message. Day of Judgment. A bullet strikes her head before she can react. Brenner watched from the shadows, hidden and waiting for the right moment. After achieving revenge, she quietly walks into the trees. Her mission is complete.